Hello everyone. I've been sick, so I apologize. My voice still hasn't recovered quite yet. However, there was big news, and so I wanted to do a video about this whole SpaceX launch thing you might have heard about. Probably you've seen it by now, and that is the SpaceX launch of a Tesla, which was supposed to go to Mars, but unfortunately it looks like is not going to quite make it there. So I just wanted to take a minute to comment on all of this and what I think about it, because there's a little bit of controversy. Some people are arguing, should it even have been done or not? First, I'd just like to congratulate SpaceX and Elon Musk, for that matter, for even pulling this launch off, because it's not an easy thing to get anything into orbit. Your rocket could blow up or go off course, and then when you're deploying the payload, so many things can go wrong with that. I'm sure those of you who are space enthusiasts already know all of that. It's very difficult to even get something up there, so that's impressive. That's a good start. I think the fact that the car is not going to end up in a Mars orbit probably shows just how far SpaceX still has to go. But that said, I think they should be commended for at least getting something up there and somewhere in the vicinity of Mars. That's a pretty good accomplishment. Only few other entities in the world have done that, United States being one of them. We put stuff on Mars. Incidentally, India too put an orbiter around Mars a couple years ago, 3 years ago. So what does that involve anyway? Well, you could use a large amount of fuel and use thrusters to gradually bring the craft into an orbit around Mars, but a better way is the technique known as aerobraking. So maybe you might have heard of it. It's a really tough thing to do. Basically, when you're getting near Mars, you want to bring the craft down into the atmosphere just a little bit, just enough to skim the atmosphere. This will slow the craft down and decrease its velocity, allowing it to settle into a stable orbit. Now, as I said, this is a really class job, and as you can see from this graphic from JPL, after several passes, the craft would have skimmed the atmosphere enough that it's not going to overshoot Mars anymore. It can settle into a nice orbit, whatever orbit they need for their science operations, for example. I remember when I was at New Mexico State, one of the professors there in the astronomy department, he was part of a group that was doing some of this aerobraking with one of the Mars probes, and he was always pulling his hair out and so much stress. I heard that he had to take a couple days off after each mission was completed, because it's a really stressful, really difficult thing to finally pull off. So should Elon Musk have even attempted this? I've heard various people arguing that he just wasted money, the car's not even going to make it to Mars anyway, so it's just a big waste of money. Well, the truth is, in actuality, the Falcon Heavy launch vehicle that he used to get that car up into space, I believe it only cost around $90 million. Someone can double check that figure for me, but I'm pretty sure that's about what it cost. A lot cheaper than a usual NASA launch. So he actually didn't spend nearly as much money as he could have, and also SpaceX is still kind of not really in the testing stages, but still in their very early stages where they're trying to validate all their technology here and basically just learn things. They obviously don't have the capability to send something into Mars orbit yet, that much we've learned here, but it's a good first step. I don't know, if I had that much money, maybe I would have just put it towards an R&D department, opened up a nice office in a state maybe that's not doing so well economically, hired a whole bunch of people, had them research on what it takes to put something in orbit around Mars or even land something on Mars. And then 5 to 10 years later, you've got all that knowledge and expertise, and then you can actually do it right. So maybe I would have invested much more in the long term. So, I don't know, I'm kind of split. I have mixed feelings, regarding this whole thing, the whole launch, but it certainly was interesting and entertaining. You've got to give it that. However, another thing I would have done differently, yes, I would have actually sent a much better car up there. Oh, you know what? Shoot, I forgot to consider the terrain on Mars. Okay, let's see, change this vehicle to this vehicle. Yeah, that's a little better. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Apologies for not getting it up last week when this was current news, but I got very sick, and so I'd started recording this and then I couldn't finish, so just thought I'd throw it up there for now anyway. I'll probably start doing like a daily astronomy corner kind of video thing in the future, so look for that. And I hope you'll support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month could make a huge difference. I can start improving my equipment quality. I can start getting some better videos up here, doing more physics videos, more of the videos that I want to do. So thanks again, and remember, don't be afraid to learn just a little bit every day.